please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. To enable audio controls, please enter your audio PIN followed by the pound or hash sign. If
So, if you find a way, find a way, but,
All I'm doing is not only the result,
right, but there is gonna be.
and to see the two items that they added to supposedly very specific to.
So we got one. Okay. So we can. Let me see. We can start. Good evening. Hey, this is come on. I would like to call the August 5, 2025 City Council meeting to order at 6:36 p.m. The public is encouraged to join the meeting online or by phone at the numbers printed on the agenda, which can be found on the city's website at www.diamondbarca.gov or in person, Main Auditorium, South Coast Air Quality Management District. We have also allowed public comments to be submitted in advance to the city clerk. If any were received, they will be noted for the record when we get to the public comment period. The meeting is being recorded, and by participating, you are giving your permission to be televised. This meeting will be rebroadcast every Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. and alternates Tuesday at 8 p.m. and archived for viewing on the city's website at www.diamondbarca.gov. Now we're going to proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance, invocation, and roll call. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by a Girl Scout member. Please come. Softball, Girl Softball, I'm sorry. So our flag is right here. Yeah. Turn on.
My bad.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, in the liberty and invisible.
Father, we gather together this evening with an exciting, a room full of excitement and energy. Thank you, Lord, for this season. Thank you for our city. Thank you for the people that work hard, serving in leadership, public safety. We think of schools starting again and teachers, educators. Just so many different people make up something we call Diamond Bar. So we thank you for that. Lord, we do pray for your peace in our community and our world, all the things the turmoil. We also pray for these young people, that there would be a future for them brighter than they could ever imagine. Thank you for parents and coaches and all the folks behind the scene that make those things possible. So we ask you to bless this meeting. Our time together would be honoring what we say and do, would be pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Pastor Hopper, thanks for actually being in the building and giving the invocation.
And also thank the girls softball, Sophia, for giving us the pledge. Thank you. City Clerk Santana, please call the roll.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow?
I'm here.
Councilmember Liu?
I'm here.
Councilmember Lowe?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai?
Here.
Mayor Tang?
Here, thank you. Next is approval of agenda. City Manager Fox, are there any change of the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda this evening.
The agenda is hereby approved. Next, we have a special presentation, certificates and proclamations. And the certificates of recognition for Diamond Bar Girls Softball All-Star Team. So please, all the girls softball All-Star Team, please come forward. Come. Come forward, join us.
Look at the age. It looks like it.
Coach, please come forward. Coach. All the coach. All right, we have a big team. Who is going to say something? Who is going to say something? Tell us what we are celebrating today.
First, we want to thank you guys for having us here today. It's an honor. These girls played really well this season. A lot of practice, a lot of tournaments. It was fun. Girls played hard. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody want to say something?
So,
DB. Got to give a shout out to our Diamond Bar Girls softball team. How about parents? Takes a lot to work. Parents. And our coaches. Thank you so much for uplifting our kids and empowering our girls. We love all our youth sports, and I have a special place in my heart for Diamond Bar Girls softball because both of my girls play in the Diamond Bar Girls softball, and I see a couple of teammates that are here, and I see Coach, oh, it's Coach John, and everyone here. So, Diamond Bars Girls softball. What if we do that chant? Yeah. So I'll go DB, and then you go what? You go when it comes after, right? Ready? DB. Yeah. DB. Yeah. All right, congratulations. Okay, so I have the. Yep, I will hand it to the Coach Enrique, for the 8U All-Stars. So on behalf of the city, these are the certificates.
Thank you.
Look how that worked out.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job, great job.
Let's have a photo together. Yeah. Wait.
Four. Can we get at least two divisions and then the rest of you can stand over your.
6 and 8 first. 10s and 12s.
You hate it.
On the side.
That was out loud.
I know. 10 you on the side. 10 and 12 over here. You guys go next.
Perfect. Now if I could get everyone to sort of crowd in. Can we have a couple of you guys move in a little bit closer just to make the.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the good work. All right, we're going to stay here. We're going to welcome the next recipient of the certificate of the recognition. This certificate goes to Southern California Edison Government Affairs Representative Marissa Castro Salvati. Marissa. Hey. Come to join with us. Thank you. So Marissa, you've been serving this area for about more than 10 years. So where are you going now? Tell us about it. You're still.
So good evening, everybody. My name is Marissa Castro Salvati, and I am the Government Relations Manager for Southern California Edison. I've covered this area for the last 10 years, since 2015, and I've had the pleasure of working closely with Dan and with David and with Anthony. Those are my three go-to people in the city of Diamond Bar, and I have to give a shout out to all three of them because they're the ones I've closely worked together. But also a special thanks to Ruth. Ruth actually is one of our government affairs part of our panel. And thank you again for serving. But I wanted to thank all of you because you have been such a wonderful group of city council members. You have been supportive in a lot of things that we do here in the city. You are supportive of clean energy, of our emergency preparedness, and really work closely with our folks at Edison. But thank you again. The 10 years that I've been here is probably one of the most fun in serving this area. But I will still be here in San Gabriel Valley, so you will still see me in different events as well. But I wanted to give a shout out. So I did bring our replacement for Southern California Edison. She is the government relations manager that's going to cover this area. And she has a very close affinity with this area because she actually grew up in Diamond Bar.
Well, we'll give you the microphone.
So I just want to say hello to everybody. My name is Tiffany Tran. I am the new government affairs manager for the city of Diamond Bar. But as we all know, there's no one that can replace Marissa. But I'm very excited to see everything come back full circle. I grew up here. I went to Quail Summit Elementary, Chaparral Middle School, Diamond Bar High School, a very long time ago, very, very long time ago. But, you know, Marissa's done such great work here with you all, and I'm really excited to continue that partnership, and I will make sure that we keep the partnership very active and just really appreciate all the support.
Thank you.
So, Marissa, thank you for your service. We're going to give you our recognition.
Thank you. And I will treasure this, definitely, because losing you guys after 10 years it's really.
We'll still see you around, right? You're still around.
See me around.
All right. Let's have a photo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not wearing high heels either.
They made it. I'm not sure what.
Okay, we'll continue our agenda. Next is the city manager's reports and recommendation. City Manager Fox, are there any reports?
There are no additional reports this evening.
Thank you. Next is the public comments. Public comments is the time reserved on each regular meeting agenda to provide an opportunity for members of the public to directly address the council on consent calendar items or other matters of interest not on the agenda that are within the subject matter's jurisdiction of the council. Although the city council values your comments, pursuant to the Brown Act, members of the city council or staff may briefly respond in public comments if necessary, but no extended discussion and no action on such matters may take place. There's a 5 minutes maximum time limits when addressing the city council. At this time, I will call up speakers who have submitted a speaker card first. Then City Clerk Santana will ask for those callers joining the teleconference who may wish to speak under the public comments. Now I have received speaker cards from Alan Wilson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Alan Wilson. I'm a 29-year resident of the City of Diamond Bar. I just want to touch on a couple of things. One is you have a consent calendar item 7.7, which I agree that you should adopt this action to install a no right turn on red and yield to pedestrian signage at Golden Springs and Golden Prado Drive. That is an intersection that causes a lot of blind spots for drivers and so forth. About 10 years ago, I was walking across the street there. The driver didn't even acknowledge me. He just zoomed, almost hit me. But he did get cited because the sheriff deputy was right behind him. He got pulled over, so that was not good. But yeah, adopt 7.7. And the one item I'd like to talk about, I appreciate your assistant city manager talking about a very painful discussion you had at your study session entitled Financial Sustainability Discussion. The city of Diamond Bar is facing a structural deficit. The deficit is not pretty. It's very painful as I look at the numbers. For the next 10 years, you are looking at a structural deficit of $40 million, and you want to project revenues, you want to collect, you want to spend an extra $13 million. There are a lot of proposals on the table, including a user tax and other things, but I want to warn the city and warn the community. We did face a hotel tax, but the voters approved that we were supposed to build a second hotel, a hotel where Popeyes is, but that never came to fruition. In 2006, the city of Diamond Bar was asked to impose a library tax on industrial, commercial, and residential. That failed miserably by 71%, and I led the campaign to defeat that tax. We raised only $10,000. The opposition raised $80,000. We were outspent 10-1, but we did manage to win the campaign. The voters have no appetite for raising taxes. But that being said, during that study session, there was no discussion about looking at the expenses. You're looking at the revenues that you want to extract with the user tax, an extra $7 million from the economy. That makes no sense. We need to look at your expenses, look at your long-term structural deficit. What is your long-term financial unfunded liability that's hurting the city? We also think we should have a community input, a community come up with ideas of ways we could find revenue. You got to remember, other cities did raise sales taxes, but they're still facing a structural deficit. Just because you want more money does not solve the problem. But we as a community should come up with ideas, out-of-the-box ideas, and I would hope that the community come at the table and see what we could do to do something about this problem. And it's It's a problem that's not going to go away. It's not going to go overnight. But I would urge the council and this community that we really need to look at this and be very serious about this spending problem. You don't have a you do not have a revenue problem. You have a spending problem. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the speaker card I have here. And is there any other public comments from the audience? If not, City Clerk Santana, is there any emails or callers on the line?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, 2 emails were received from the League of Women Voters from the Mount Baldy area and the Gillespie family. They were forwarded to the City Council and placed at the entrance of the meeting for public viewing. At this time, there are no callers on the line.
Thank you. Now, is there any other wish to address to the City Council? If I see none, and so the public comment section is closed. Next is the schedule of future events and consent calendar. City Manager Fox, can you please announce the schedule of the upcoming events and then proceed with the consent calendar?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. On the schedule of events, we have, there will be a paper shredding and e-waste collection event on Saturday, August 9th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. here in the AQMD parking lot. The Planning Commission meeting will be meeting next Tuesday, August 12th, starting at 6:30 p.m. in the Windmill Community Room at City Hall. Coffee with the Cop will also be held on Wednesday, August 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Starbucks in the H Mart Plaza on South Diamond Bar Boulevard. The Diamond Bar Community Foundation Beer Fest and the City's Taste of Diamond Bar will be held on Sunday, August 17th from 3 to 7:30 p.m. at the Diamond Bar Center. And our next City Council meeting will be Tuesday, August 19th, starting at 6:30 p.m. here in the AQMD Auditorium. On the consent calendar this evening, you have approval of the July 15th City Council meeting minutes, approval of the check register dated July 9th through July 22nd, cancellation of the September 2nd City Council meeting, approval of a professional services agreement with Pivotal Strategies for public outreach and engagement services, including an additional appropriation, adoption of Resolution 2025-28, authorizing the submittal of a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant for the Heritage Park site improvements, rejection of all bids received for the Grand View Ballroom lighting and entry door projects at the Diamond Bar Center, adoption of Resolution 2025-29, approving the installation of a no right turn and yield to pedestrian sign at the intersection of Golden Springs and Golden Prados, and approval of the Third Amendment to a Memorandum of Understanding with the Los Angeles Gateway Water Management Authority through September 30th, 2030. And that concludes the consent calendar for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Fox, for the report. Is there any council member want to put any item for discussion?
I'll move.
Council Member Liu moved. Do we have any second?
I'll second that, please.
City Clerk Santana, can you please call for the vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow?
Yes.
Councilmember Liu?
Yes.
Councilmember Lowe?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai?
Yes.
Mayor Tang?
Yes, thank you. Motion passes. Next item is the public hearing session, and City Manager Fox, please provide the report.
Our Community Development Director, Greg Gubman, will be making the staff presentation this evening.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Tonight, staff is presenting ordinance number 02-2025 for second reading, public hearing and adoption. This ordinance will amend Title 15 of the Diamond Bar City Code to adopt the updated fire hazard severity zones as recommended by the State Fire Marshal and based on updated mapping released by CAL FIRE. On March 24th of this year, CAL FIRE released revised fire maps using advanced modeling. State law requires local jurisdictions to adopt these updated designations within 120 days of release of the maps. The ordinance was released for first reading on July 15th with a 3-2 council vote to adopt. To recap, key changes to the very high fire hazard severity zone boundaries in Diamond Bar are outlined in the images on the screen, the left being the current mapping and on the right being the proposed mapping, and with those polygons outlining the key change areas. They show expansion into the Summit Ridge Trail area in adjacent neighborhoods east of Diamond Bar Boulevard, north of Grand Avenue, expansion to the city's eastern boundary, including areas in the country, the inclusion of additional neighborhoods in the south, such as those near Starshine Park and Ronald Reagan Park, and a retraction from some central areas along Diamond Bar Boulevard where fire risk has been modeled as lower. The ordinance updates the city's official reference map, but does not change the construction or brush clearance requirements already in effect under state law. Properties within the updated very high fire hazard severity zone map will be subject to wildfire hardening provisions already established in the California building and residential codes. To clarify a point that was raised during the first reading on July 15th, there was concern from council members about the Zone 0 brush clearance requirements. While Zones 1 and 2, covering areas between 5 and 100 feet of a structure, have been enforceable since January of 2023, rulemaking for Zone 0, which applies to the first 5 feet of a building's perimeter, is still under development at the state level. Enforcement of Zone 0 will not be mandatory until CAL FIRE finalizes its regulations, which are expected later this year. For now, any Zone 0 compliance will remain discretionary unless triggered by new construction or permitted renovation work. Adoption of this ordinance is required under California Government Code Section 51179, which mandates that local agencies update their fire hazard maps within 100 days of receiving recommendations from the state fire marshal. The adoption of this ordinance is also exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under CEQA Guidelines Section 15378B, in that it does not constitute a project. Required public notice for this hearing was published in the San Gabriel Valley Tribune on July 23rd and 28th in conformance with government code requirements. If adopted, the ordinance will take effect 30 days from tonight. Staff will continue monitoring the state's development of Zone 0 regulations and will return with future recommendations as needed. The ordinance before you tonight is unchanged from its introduction on July 15th, which was approved as previously stated for first reading on a 3-2 vote. Tonight, staff recommends that the City Council open the public hearing and receive public testimony, close the public hearing, and approve for second reading and adopt ordinance number 02-2025 by title only. That concludes this presentation, and staff is happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'm going to open the public hearing. So anyone in the audience want to address to the council for this item? Anyone on the telephone or on email?
Mayor, no emails were submitted for this item, and there's no callers on the line at this time.
Are there any council members who want to discuss this item?
I just have a quick question, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay. My one question is with respect to the enforcement of this ordinance, does it fall on city staff or does it fall on our fire department?
It falls on both. The fire department is actually enforcing on the city's behalf because they would be enforcing the city ordinance.
Okay. And if this were, let's say, let's say that a resident was concerned that, for example, that their neighbor had brush that was in violation of this ordinance, you know, putting aside the zone 0, but 1 and above, would the enforcement of that, would it go to our local prosecutor, or would it go to another agency for enforcement?
Enforcement would be on our local prosecutor.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? So I do have a question. So the adopting of this ordinance, according to the studies, that it's supposed to be exempt from the CEQA. And the CEQA exemption mentioned that the exemption applies if the this new ordinance or anything that will not affect the environment. However, I do see that if we adopt this map, then there will be thousands of residents might fall into this quote high hazard fire area, so that their zone 0 trees might need to be removed. Although the zone 0 tree usually is within 5 feet distance from the house, but in many of the old house, that they may have some trees like California oak trees, which is protected under CEQA. It also is protected under city's tree ordinance. So if that's the case, if we adopt this ordinance, if some of the high hazard house with the trees or protected trees within 5 feet of their residence, then how is the enforcement going to be like?
So the defensible space doesn't specifically require removal of trees. What it requires is removal of vegetation that can cause or either ignition or can burn. For example, in terms of a tree, it requires removal of that portion of the tree that extends within 10 feet of an outlet of a chimney or stovepipe. So the whole tree doesn't need to be cut down, but any branches that are over, a chimney would have to be cut down. It requires maintenance of a tree, shrub, or other plant adjacent to an overhang in a building free of dead or dying wood. So to the extent that the tree is dead, then yes, it would need to be removed. To the extent that there are dead branches, the branches that are dead need to be removed. So currently the law doesn't require full removal of trees. It's simply maintenance or removal of trees that are dead and dry, or maintenance of the trees so that dry branches are removed that can cause the ignition or can cause burning during a fire event. And I think we can ask the fire marshal if they're here to, I think they could probably do a better job than I can in responding to that question. Now, in terms of CEQA, two things. Number one, CEQA has a specific exemption, and it's not a project when the city adopts regulations that the legislation itself adopted. The current legislation does require us to adopt the maps per the fire marshal, And it also authorizes the city to adopt more stringent regulations or to add more properties that the city determines the fire marshal missed. In this particular action, we are not proposing to expand or change what the state has already adopted. And for that reason, there really is no additional environmental review that would be required. And again, what we're doing is simply following state law.
Thank you for the clarification. And we have any additional comment from our representative from fire department?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Honorable Council. At this point, I think that the city's attorney has done a great job of summarizing the issue. There is the enforcement currently where we would come out, do an inspection. If somebody's not in compliance, we give them a notice. Then they have 30 days to comply. Our local stations are in charge of interacting with the homeowner, and we'll work with them if there's an issue. But we're not going to, we don't want to, if there's a neighbor complaints, we can address those, but that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. With regards to the legal stuff, I'm going to leave that to the legal experts. I'm just here to talk about the fire stuff. And so I do think that without being able to give legal advice, there are some other considerations with regards to this ordinance, and I think the adoption, as staff has recommended, is appropriate if you see fit. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do thank our city attorney's explanation that not all the trees need to be removed as long as they are well kept and that they can prevent it from fire. So that even if they have an old oak trees, that they don't need to remove them, as long as it's not going to cause any fire hazard. Thank you for the explanation. At this time, is there any other comments? If none, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll move for approval.
A second.
City Clerk Santana, can you call for the vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow?
Yes.
Councilmember Liu?
Yes.
Councilmember Lowe?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai?
Yes.
Mayor Tang?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Next session is a council
We do need to read the title into the record.
I'd be happy to read the title really
Thank
quickly
you,
for
okay.
you. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Diamond Bar designating very high fire hazard severity zones in accordance with state law and amending the Diamond Bar City Code.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is a city council consideration. There are no city council consideration items on tonight's agenda. Moving on, next is a council subcommittee reports and meeting attendance report, council member comments. And I'm going to start with council member Ruth Lowe on my left side.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I didn't get a chance to thank personally our Southern California Edison rep, Ms. Salvati. Thank you for your service for all of us on behalf of the city for the last 10 years. You've always been very responsive to whatever we needed, and especially the most recent PSPS, power safety, power shutoff. There was a lot of concerned citizens, so I just want to thank you for your quick work and answering the questions and gathering your team so that you can answer the concerns of our community. So really appreciate your work and looking out for our city. So we'll miss you, but Tiffany, welcome. So glad that you're one of our residents, so welcome home, actually. I was going to ask if you played the softball with the girls, but I didn't want to embarrass you. But we're really pleased, and I know that you'll enjoy working with our staff because we really have the best staff. Thank you to everyone who supported the wine soiree last Sunday. It was really a great event. I just wanted to tell you about another event that is coming up. It is on September 12th, and this is sponsored by the Diamond Bar Breakfast Lions. And so if, in case you didn't like wine, maybe you'll like bingo. And this is bingo and dinner. And the dinner is an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it's really a fun event, lots of good food, and the money goes to support the local work of the Lions. And then the next thing I'd like to talk about is give kudos to our staff for just a really wonderful summer program. This is a picture of from last week. It was just the best concert ever. It was very well attended, and these are some of my little friends that were at the concert. The place was completely packed. Everyone was up and dancing. It was really a great time. So staff, thank you for Ryan. You and your team did a great job putting the concert. And this is like my favorite picture. And this just tells you how everyone was really enjoying it. So it was really great way to bring our community together, having our music and having our films and just a sense of community, and that's what makes Diamond Bar so very special. So thank you for your work, and with that, I'll thank everyone and say goodnight.
Thank you. Councilmember Liu?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to echo Councilmember Lowe. Thank you, Ms. Marissa Castro-Salvati. And thank you for all you do for our communities on behalf of what you do for the company you work for, but more importantly, I see you out at a lot of communities and helping our nonprofit organizations, and a big thank you for your leadership. You're uplifting and empowering the communities through nonprofit as well. Tiffany, welcome. We look forward to working with you, and it's a great way to, shall we say, welcome back home. We'd like to thank our staff for our presentation, and then to thank our staff for a wonderful summer, the summer in the park, and with the summers that's coming to an end, we had our last concert this past Wednesday. And with the summer coming to an end, that means the school is coming back on. And I'd like to wish all the students a wonderful year and a fun and uplifting year. And also next week also means there will be a lot of traffic, a lot of new parents going to new schools. So please have a little bit extra patience on the day, especially in the morning and on the week. And thank you for that, and appreciate you for having more patience. And on August 17th, we will having a fundraiser called a Beer Fest, and also a taste of Diamond Bar at the Diamond Bar Center. So look forward to seeing everyone there. And with that, I'll say good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Chow?
Thank you, Mayor. You threw me off because you usually start this side, and I was ready to go. Then you went to that side, but thank you. Yes, I want to first thank staff again for the presentation earlier during the study session. I do want to address something that one of the speakers said, and I typically don't address public comments, but I was a little taken back by the comment that we don't cut our expenses. So I just want to set the record straight that we have been very diligent about our budget, and I've been on council long enough to know that we during COVID would cut multiple things. I believe one year we cut about 1.3 million spending because we weren't sure what the revenue is going to look like. Just more recently, we actually voted to cut down 2 different contracts. One was the traffic study. The other was a charging station study. Saved the city about $1 million by doing so. So I just want to address that we're very diligent about our budget, and when necessary, we do cut expenses. And there are times where we forego COLA for our staff. We love all you do, but when times are tough, we're all in it together. And I also remember during COVID, we cut our own auto allowance because we weren't attending meetings because everything was canceled. So we're very diligent. We know exactly what we're doing our best. We're stewards public funds. So I just want to address that comment made by our constituent. Secondly, I did attend the League of California meetings. 2 things I want to report to my council. One, the board took a position to oppose unless amended SB 707 by Senator Durazo, which would drastically change the way Brown Acts are enforced. Essentially will add a lot more requirements, and the board felt that it was a little draconian, and that Also, they did not provide any funding. So essentially, the bill would, I know. Essentially, the bill would require cities to provide additional services, real-time transcription, and also translation and kind of other services, and also extend the Brown Act violation from 9 months to 12 months. But probably the most important thing that it will require a small city, let's say with 10,000 people, to be held to the same standard as a city like San Jose, for example. So they just felt that, the board felt that the bill should be amended in many ways. So we sent it back to our staff to continue to work with Senator Durazo, and hopefully we'll see those amendments come in. And then also want to report also that the board voted unanimously to create a veteran and military caucus for the board, and was spearheaded by Mayor Michael Cao from Arcadia, who served as the immediate past president of the LA division. So I want to thank him for the leadership. We do have another meeting October 9th. Unfortunately, that'll be my last meeting on the state board. I got turned out. But I'll continue to stay involved with the league and continue to attend meetings and report back the actions that are taken by the board. And that's all I have. With that, I'll say goodnight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Chow, to represent our cities. Next, Mayor Pro Tem Tai.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Councilman Chow. Thank you. You know I've had trouble with that from the beginning. So, but I do appreciate you pointing that out. You know, if it's difficult times, it started with reductions. It started with every director having a sit down and saying, you know, what can we do better? What can we do less expensive, and so on. So I really appreciate that you pointed that out. Thank you, Marissa, for all your work here. Welcome, Tiffany. It's Old Home Week for you. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Again, Friends of the Library wine soiree is so successful, and I don't know that Councilwoman Lowe mentioned it, or I wasn't paying attention, but every penny goes to the library, and Cynthia was not here tonight to tell us that, so I'm here to do it. So another great concerts in the park this year, as evidenced by the pictures that you shared with us, Ruth, were terrific. The background looked terrific, and just we look forward to it next year. We do a lot of very what do we call that? They're focused on families, and we do a good job with that. And as Councilman Liu said, from 3 to 7 on Sunday, August 17th at the Diamond Bar Center, we're going to have the Beer Fest and the Taste of Diamond Bar. I don't know that there's another city that has as much fun as we do. We have a wine soiree, we have great concerts, and now we're going to end the summer with beer and whatever else. First beer is on me. How's that? Bingo. Bingo, that's right. So it's out of our town, but it's okay. So with that, I will say thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. I had a great time at the wine soiree, and it's a very successful event. One thing I do want to mention, probably very few people know, is that our librarian told me that our city, the library in the city, is one of the most utilized library in the county system. Number one in terms of the circulation. I think that's we are the number one in circulation. So that's very good. That's very good. That's all because of we have a very good Friends of the Library volunteers to support our library. So we thank them for their voluntary work. And with that, I think the summer is coming to the close. So that's a little bit sad. But I still want everyone to be safe and look forward to the coming months. We'll still continue to work on all the challenges we have, the budget, things like that. So I hope everyone, good night. Bye-bye.